Hello everyone, a good day to all. Now moving on from organic chemistry to inorganic chemistry, that is coordination compounds. Okay, so we will start with a new chapter, coordination compounds. So you all know what is a coordination compound, or you studied coordination compounds in D block elements or in transition elements. You have come across with the coordination compounds or complexes. For example, in the detection of metals like copper and silver, because copper, silver are all transition metals. When it reacts with ammonia, it forms a complexes. If you are remembering, CuNH3 4 times 2 plus. So these are all complexes. So in modern science, we call these complexes as a special name as a coordination compounds. And if you look around the things, we come to know that almost everything is made up of these coordination complexes. For example, chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a complexes or a coordination complexes of with magnesium metal. Then hemoglobin, again, for in our body, hemoglobin, it's again a complex made with the iron metal, and also this vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is a coordination compound with the cobalt metal. See, so in every box of life we can see the complexes formed by metals, mainly metals. And also this finds its industrial application in textile industry, this coordination complexes, in dyeing industry. Dye means coloring industry. Then electroplating industry. We have studied electroplating, right? The coating of a expensive metal in a non-expensive metal. And even in medicinal chemistry, the coordination complexes will have a greater role to play. So it's a very important branch of chemistry which we call it as in an inorganic chemistry, still an inorganic chemistry, but we named it as coordination chemistry. But simply the coordination chemistry is dealing with the complexes, that's all. Okay. So Alfred Werner was the Swiss chemist. Alfred Werner was a Swiss chemist who first introduced or made researches or characterized or identified many compounds of this coordination, or he made many complexes and make coordination compounds. He was the first scientist to maybe we can call as the father of coordination compounds also, because he made several thousands and thousands of compounds in coordination chemistry to make understand what are the physical properties or chemical properties or what are the characteristics of this coordination compound. And his first identification of this coordination compound was, he said, a metal ion, because coordination complexes are all based on the metal ions, isn't it? Metal ions or metal, neutral metal or metal ions. So he said that the metal ions can have two types of valencies. That was the first identification or first theoretical prediction of the Alfred Werner. And he said every metal can have two valencies. Now one is primary valency and second is a secondary valency. So Alfred Werner said that any metal or metal ion in a coordination compound can have two valencies, like primary valency as well as secondary valency. You know, primary valency and then secondary valency. Now, where he found the primary valency? He found the primary valency in the compounds like, for example, CdCl3 or PtCl4 or FeCl2. In this case, binary compound. These are binary compounds. Binary compound means compounds made up of two things. Okay, two elements. Binary, bi. So in binary compounds, he come across with the primary valency. For example, the cadmium will have a +3 valency. See, the valency of cadmium is +3. Then iron is here +2. Platinum is +4. So these are called as the primary valency, which is normally ionizable. That is the main difference. The difference in the primary valency is very, very important. These valencies are what? These valencies are ionizable in nature. That means when it is dissolved in a suitable solvent, water or whatever the solvent is, it will dissociate into ions, isn't it? For example, CD3 plus 3Cl minus. This CdCl3 gets dissociated into CD3 plus and 3Cl minus. That means dissociation happens in the presence of a solute or a solvent or a particular solvent. So that is the concept about the primary valence. Got it? So primary valency is nothing but they are ionizable in nature, which dissociates, and mainly they are binary compounds which dissociate on having a suitable solvent. That is the primary valency. Now when you talk about the secondary valency means there the coordination compound starts. Okay, or the complexes are starting by the secondary valency. Now, in the case of secondary valency, Alfred Werner prepared some compounds with cobalt he prepared some cobalt with ammonia. He prepared some compounds using cobalt and ammonia. Listen, what he did is, he prepared some compounds using this cobalt and ammonia. Okay, and he need what? He need a coordination compound or complexes. And what he did was, he added some silver nitrate solution to it. Clear? He added some silver nitrate solution to it. He found that in some cases silver chloride gets precipitated. You are getting me? That means he prepared some cobalt chloride. See, cobalt 3 chloride. Cobalt 3 chloride means what? You can have the formula COCl3. So can I write COCl3 here? Okay, I can write COCl3 here. Okay. So he made some compound with the cobalt chloride and ammonia. Okay, he had this compound, and what he did, he reacted some excess silver nitrate solution to it, which means he poured some silver nitrate solution to it, and to his surprise, some silver chloride gets precipitated. From silver, chloride gets precipitated. Okay, now I will write the name of that, or name of the formula of that compounds. What he did, he took 1 mole of COCl3.NH3. Okay, COCl3.NH3. Then it gave 3 mole of AgCl. Okay, 3 mole of AgCl. Okay, and this is yellow in color. Just to have a information, that's all, yellow in color. Now again he made some compound with the COCl2.5NH3, okay, which is purple in color, and it gave 2 mole of AgCl. Okay, this is very important because board exam they can ask such type of questions. Next, he adds COCl2. In all these compounds it is COCl3. COCl3 plus 4NH3, and its color is green. And it gave 1 mole of AgCl. And the last is COCl3.4NH3, which is violet in color, which also gave 1 mole of AgCl. So once again I will tell you. He prepared this compound, that is, he prepared the complexes with the cobalt 3 chloride. Cobalt 3 chloride means COCl3. The valency of cobalt is 3 because cobalt has got a variable valency, you know, transition elements. So he prepared this cobalt chloride with ammonia complex. Now what he did, he poured some silver nitrate solution to it. Clear? Silver nitrate solution. What happened? He got a precipitate of silver chloride. Okay. He had silver nitrate. Silver chloride. Chloride is only in this compound. What happened? The silver will react with this chloride in the cobalt, and you get it precipitated. അതാണ് അതിൻ്റെ ഫണ്ട. അതായത് സിൽവർ നൈട്രേറ്റ് ഒഴിച്ചപ്പോഴത്തേക്കും സിൽവർ ക്ലോറൈഡ് വരണമെങ്കിൽ ഈ COCl3യിലുള്ള ക്ലോറിൻ വിൽ ഗെറ്റ്സ് അറ്റാച്ച്ഡ് ടു ദ സിൽവർ ആൻഡ് ഫോം സിൽവർ ക്ലോറൈഡ്, റൈറ്റ്? ഓക്കെ. നൗ അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ he had got these എന്താണ് these things. He got all these results like 1 mole of COCl3.6H2O, that means it contains 6NH3, which is yellow in color. It produces 3 mole of AgCl. Now, what does this interpret, or what does will give you the idea? നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇത് എന്ത് മനസ്സിലായി? 3 മോൾ ഓഫ് AgCl precipitate ചെയ്തു എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇവിടെ ആകെ 3 Cl അല്ലേ ഉള്ളൂ. There is only 3 Cl there. So it means that all these 3 Cl gets replaced and it forms AgCl precipitate. Am I right? മനസ്സിലായോ? അതായത് എത്ര മോളാണോ പ്രസിപ്പിറ്റേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് അത്രയും Cl അത് ഈ കോമ്പൗണ്ടിൽ നിന്നും എടുക്കും. എന്നാലല്ലേ അവിടെ പ്രസിപ്പിറ്റേറ്റ് നടക്കത്തുള്ളൂ. Then only the precipitate happens, right? So, which means that here the 3 mole of AgCl, the 3 Cl is getting dispatched. Here see 2 mole of AgCl, which means the 2 mole of Cl is getting dispatched and there is 1 mole is there, remaining is there. Here what happens? Only 1 mole of AgCl. So the remaining 1 mole means remaining 2 Cl is here. And in the last case also 1 mole of AgCl is precipitating. So in the last case also 1 mole. So balance it will be 2 chlorine is attached to the cobalt. So have you understood this? Then ഇത് മനസ്സിലായാൽ ഇനി ഞാൻ പറയാൻ പോകുന്നത് മനസ്സിലാവും. Okay, so how much gets precipitated അതങ്ങ് മാറും. ബാക്കിയുള്ളതേ ഇവിടെ കാണത്തുള്ളൂ. That is the thing. That is the moral. മനസ്സിലായില്ലേ? ഇനി അപ്പം ഈ സ്റ്റഡീസും with all these studies and also the conductivity studies, because these are in solutions, right? The measurement of the conductivity studies along with these observations had a conclusion, or a conclusion with it, which means that in metal ion, that is everywhere it is cobalt ion, it is linked with the 6 groups always. E experiment E cobalt ion is always linked with the 6 groups. Okay, and it can have a formula for that. That was the first finding. Always this cobalt metal is linked with the 6 groups. I will show you how we write the formula. Okay. What was the second assumption? The second assumption was, and you can formulate this compound, this coordination compound you can formulate. Now, Werner has proposed the secondary valency of a metal or a metal ion. Primary valency for binary compounds you can have primary valency only. But in a complexes like this, when you make complexes like this, they can have primary also as well as secondary valency. And the secondary valency he proposed in this complexes. That means the secondary valency is that the number of groups which are directly attached to a metal or a metal ion is called as a secondary valency. Now what is secondary valency? Secondary valencies are nothing but the number of ions or groups which are directly bounded or attached to the central metal atom is called as secondary valency. So how many number, if for example, if there are 6 groups attached to the cobalt ion, you can say the secondary valency of that complex is 6. Correct. So I will now write the formula of that complexes. See, I will write it here. Okay, so you will have it. So see, here 3 moles of AgCl is getting out. So all the 3 chlorine is out of this complex. So how will you write the formula for the complex? See, it is CO is there, cobalt is there. How many NH3 is there? NH3 are the group which is bounded to the cobalt. See, CO, NH3 6 times. How many has left? 3. So the whole in bracket 3 plus. And how many chloride ion gets ionized? 3Cl minus. So this is how you write the formula for a coordination compound. We will study how to write the formula or how to name it. We will study later. But for the preliminary this thing, he concluded that from this observation or from this experiment what he observed, according to his observation, we can write this coordination compound like this: CO NH3 6 times 3Cl minus. Where Werner proposed that this 6 ammonia molecule is directly bound. That is why you have taken it in a square bracket, because this Cl minus has got nothing to do with the cobalt ion. Correct? So the cobalt ion, only ammonia molecule is directly bounded to it. Correct? So you can say the secondary valency of this compound is 6, because we will study how it links. We will study later. So the secondary valency is 6 because there are 6 groups or atoms which are directly bound to this metal, or it can be a metal ion also. Correct? Because it's like that. So it is this. Now coming to the second one. How we formulate this? See, in this COCl3 dot 5NH3, is it 5NH3? Yeah. COCl3 dot 5NH3, it gave 2 mole of AgCl. It gave 2 mole of AgCl, which means what? 2 chlorine is getting away from this and 1 chlorine is there. Correct? So how will you write the formula? See, how will you write the formula? Listen. This CO, 1 Cl is there, right? 1 Cl is there because only 2 mole is precipitated. So, 1 Cl is there and NH3 under 5 NH3 is there. Okay? It is in a square bracket. Coordination compounds in the entity. The coordination entity always you put it in a bracket. ഒരു സ്ക്വയർ ബ്രാക്കറ്റിൽ വേണം ഇടാൻ. അപ്പോൾ നോക്കിയേ, ആകെ മൊത്തം എത്രയുണ്ട്? NH3 5 ഉണ്ട്, ക്ലോറിൻ is also 1. So total there are 6 groups are there. നോക്കിയേ, അതാണ് ഇവിടുത്തെ ഒബ്സർവേഷൻ. In all these cases the cobalt atom is directly bounded to 6 atoms or groups. Clear? ഇനി നമ്മൾ അടുത്ത നോക്കിയേ, അടുത്തത് COCl3 dot 4NH3 1 mole of AgCl is precipitated. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു ക്ലോറിൻ മാറും, ബാക്കി എന്തുണ്ട് എഴുതിക്കേ? COCl2 NH3 4 times. നോക്കിയേ, അവിടെ ആകെ മൊത്തം എത്രയുണ്ട്? 4 + 2 6. സി, ഈ 6 ആറ്റംസ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഗ്രൂപ്പ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് അമോണിയ മാത്രമാവാം, അതല്ല അമോണിയയും ക്ലോറിനും ആവാം. ഡസന്റ് മൈൻഡ്. പക്ഷെ ആകെ മൊത്തം കൂട്ടി വരുമ്പോൾ എത്ര കാണണം? 6 കാണണം. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ദാറ്റ്. Correct. So this is, and now the last one is also same. Okay, ഇത് രണ്ടും same ആണ്, പക്ഷെ it is different compounds. That is, one is green and one is violet. So these two you can call it as isomers, isn't it? Same molecular formula but different properties. These two will show different properties. So they are called as isomers. But they are having same molecular formula. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് പ്രത്യേകം ഞാൻ എഴുതിയത് green and violet. So in this case also the same happens. That is COCl2 NH3 4 times. So all together what happens? 6 groups are directly bound to the central cobalt atom or metal atom. So in all these cases, the secondary valency of cobalt is 6. The secondary valency of cobalt is 6. Is it clear? നമുക്ക് ഇതുപോലെ 3Cl minus എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ എന്ത് വേണമെങ്കിൽ എഴുതാം? 2Cl ആ പോയത്. അപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണമെങ്കിൽ 2Cl minus എഴുതാം, ഇവിടെ Cl minus എഴുതാം, ഇവിടെ Cl minus എഴുതാം. So depending on that, no problem. Okay. So അതനുസരിച്ച് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇവിടെ എന്ത് എഴുതാം? 3 plus എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ 2 plus എഴുതാം, ഇവിടെ plus എഴുതാം, ഇവിടെ plus എഴുതാം. So that we will study later. Okay, how you will write the name of the coordination compound. So this is about the primary valency and the secondary valency which was proposed by Alfred Werner. Werner ആണ് ഇത് കൊണ്ടുവന്നത്. You know, secondary valency is what? The number of groups. It can be ions also. Okay, ഇവിടെ Cl അല്ലേ ഉള്ളൂ, ഇല്ലേ? Neutral molecule അല്ലല്ലോ. So it can be a groups or ions which are directly bound to the central metal atom or metal atom. This is called as the secondary valency. Now hope you are clear with the secondary valency and the primary valency. Primary valency are ionizable. For example, in this case, we can say that the primary valency is chlorine, that is 3, because 3 chlorine. Here the primary valency is 2. Here the primary valency is 1. You can say, because in a coordination compound, both valencies are there, because the counter ions are primary valence. We will move into that later. Okay. So, now this is according to the primary valency and the secondary valency. Correct. Now we will say some of the postulates which was proposed by Werner in 1898. Okay, so Werner proposed some 4 points according to the coordination compounds or complexes. The first postulate, what he said was, in a coordination compound, the metal shows 2 types of linkages. 2 types of linkages, that is the valency only. The linkages which we here is describing is the valency only. So in a coordination compound, the metals will show 2 types of linkages. One is a primary linkage and second is a secondary linkage. Got it? That means primary valency and secondary valency. Easy. Now the second postulate is that the primary valencies are ionizable. I told you. See, Cl minus. The primary valencies are ionizable in nature. Correct. The primary valencies are ionizable in nature and they are satisfied by negative ions. Remember. Because chlorine is negative. Correct. So ionize cheyanamengil adu ion side alle maaran pattullu. So that is why mainly or mostly the primary valencies are negative in nature or negative in charge. That is, they are ionizable. Clear? Okay. Now the third postulate is the secondary valencies are non-ionizable in nature. That is the point. Very, very important. Secondary valencies are non-ionizable in nature. This is secondary valency, ammonia, E compound. E ammonia, E compound is non-ionizable. This, when it is put in solvent, what happens? It does not dissociate into ions. Whereas this primary valency, when it is dissolved in a suitable solvent, what happens? It gets ionized. Which links or which means, which indirectly means that this ammonia molecule or whatever be it is very, very directly not be detached. That is the point. Which cannot be detached while putting in a solvent. That is called as non-ionizable in nature. Clear? Okay. So secondary valencies are non-ionizable in nature and moreover they are satisfied by neutral molecules or negative ions. See? It is satisfied by neutral molecule like ammonia. There is no charge. But it can also have a negative charge also because chlorine is Cl minus. So the secondary valencies can be satisfied by either with a neutral molecule alone. See? Neutral molecule alone. Or it can be a combination of neutral molecule and a negative ion. Or it can be only a negative ion. No matter. No problem. Okay. So the secondary valencies can be satisfied by either negative ion or a neutral molecule or a combination of these two. Clear? Okay. Now, and moreover, one more very important point is, this secondary valency is equal to the coordination number of that metal. Very, very important. What is it? The secondary valency is equal to the coordination number. The secondary valency is equal to the coordination number of a metal which is always fixed. Okay. The secondary valency coordination metal coordination number indicate coordination number how many atoms or group of atoms or molecules they are directly attached to a metal. For example, in this case, R ammonia molecules are cobalt attached. So its secondary valency is 6, which means that the coordination number of this cobalt in this compound is 6, which means the secondary valency is equal to the coordination number of this metal. Coordination number, we will be more talking about coordination number in solid state. Okay, the next chapter. So that is, and moreover, this coordination number of any metal is fixed in a given compound. It won't change in that particular compound. Correct. So here see, here also it is 6, here also 6, here also 6. So the secondary valency, in short we can say that the number of atoms or group of atoms or ions which are directly bound to that central metal atom or ion is called as secondary valency. So that is the third postulate. And the fourth postulate is the ions or this group, the metal atom or these ions is bound by this secondary linkages. We call it as linkages, or you can call it as valency also. Okay. Now the ions or groups which are bound by the secondary linkages of the metal have a characteristic spatial arrangement. That is it. It is having a spatial arrangement corresponding to different coordination number. See, that is very, very important. എന്താ പറയുന്നത്? അതായത് നമുക്കറിയാം ഓരോ കോമ്പൗണ്ടിലും ഓരോ ടൈപ്പ് ഓഫ് ലിങ്കേജസ്, ഐ മീൻ സെക്കൻഡറി വാലൻസീസ് ഉണ്ട്. സെക്കൻഡറി വാലൻസി മീൻസ് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് എ കോർഡിനേഷൻ നമ്പർ ഓഫ് ദാറ്റ് മെറ്റൽ. ഇനി ഓരോ മെറ്റലിന്റെ ഓരോ സെക്കൻഡറി ലിങ്കേജസ് അനുസരിച്ച് that compound should have a specific spatial arrangement according to the coordination number or the secondary valency. അതാണ് പറയുന്നത്. എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നോക്കിയേ, ഇപ്പൊ ഇവിടെ സെക്കൻഡറി വാലൻസി 6 ആണ്. 6 ആയിട്ടുള്ള എല്ലാ കോമ്പൗണ്ട്സും വിൽ ഹാവ് ആൻ ഒക്ടാഹീഡ്രൽ സ്ട്രക്ചർ. ക്ലിയർ? ഒക്ടാഹീഡ്രൽ സ്ട്രക്ചർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? ഒക്ടാഹീഡ്രൽ മീൻസ്, ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ കൊബാൾട്ട് 1 2 3 4 5 6. ഓക്കെ, ഇതില് 6 എണ്ണവും അമോണിയ ആണ്. ഇത് ഫസ്റ്റ് എക്സാമ്പിൾ, നമ്മൾ ഫസ്റ്റ് എക്സാമ്പിൾ എടുത്ത കേസിൽ ഇങ്ങനെയാണ് അതിന്റെ സ്ട്രക്ചർ വരുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, ഇങ്ങനെയാണ് അതിന്റെ സ്ട്രക്ചർ വരുന്നത്. CONH3 6 times എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ CO, this is in the octahedral geometry. അതായത് ഓരോ കോർഡിനേഷൻ നമ്പറിനും അതിൻ്റെതായ പ്രത്യേക ജോമെട്രി ഉണ്ട്. If the coordination number or the secondary valency or the secondary linkage is 6, it will have a octahedral geometry. Clear? അതായത് ഡിഫറെന്റ് സ്ട്രക്ചേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ട്. അതായത് സ്ട്രക്ചേഴ്സിന് പറയുന്ന തന്നെ, സ്പേഷ്യൽ അറേഞ്ച്മെന്റിന് പറയുന്ന തന്നെ ഒരു പേരുണ്ട് പോളിഹെഡ്ര. പോളിഹെഡ്ര എന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്. പക്ഷെ നമ്മളിപ്പം സ്പേഷ്യൽ അറേഞ്ച്മെന്റ് പറഞ്ഞാൽ മതി, നോ പ്രോബ്ലം. സോ ഡിപ്പെൻഡിങ് അപ്പോൺ ഡിഫറെന്റ് കോർഡിനേഷൻ നമ്പർ ഓർ ഡിഫറെന്റ് സെക്കൻഡറി വാലൻസി, യു ക്യാൻ ഹാവ് ഡിഫറെന്റ് സ്പേഷ്യൽ അറേഞ്ച്മെന്റ്. ശരിയല്ലേ? ഇനി സെക്കൻഡറി വാലൻസി 4 ആണെങ്കിലും, ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ഇതെല്ലാം പഠിച്ചത് 6 ആണ്. 4 ആണെങ്കിലോ സെക്കൻഡറി വാലൻസി എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ 4 ഗ്രൂപ്പ്സ് ആണ് ഒരു മെറ്റൽ ആറ്റത്തിൽ വന്ന് ജോയിൻ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ PtCl4 അതൊരു ബെസ്റ്റ് എക്സാമ്പിൾ ആണ്. Can I rub this? ഒരു 4 മോളിക്യൂളെ ഉള്ള സെക്കൻഡറി വാലൻസി എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അതിന്റെ അർത്ഥം എന്താണ്? അതിന്റെ അർത്ഥം ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ PT 1 2 3 4, അതായത് Cl 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 Cl. അപ്പോൾ PtCl4 എന്ന് പറയുന്ന കോമ്പൗണ്ടിന്, PtCl4 2- എന്ന് പറയുന്ന കോമ്പൗണ്ടിന് 4 സെക്കൻഡറി വാലൻസി അല്ലേ ഉള്ളൂ. നോക്കിയേ, ഈ സ്ക്വയർ ബ്രാക്കറ്റിൽ എത്രയാണ് പ്ലാറ്റിനം എന്ന് പറയുന്ന മെറ്റലിനെ ബൗണ്ട് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്? 4 ക്ലോറിൻ ആറ്റം. സോ ഇറ്റ് സെക്കൻഡറി വാലൻസി ഈസ് 4. അങ്ങനെയാവുമ്പോൾ ദിസ് സ്ട്രക്ചർ ഈസ് എന്താണ്? സ്ക്വയർ പ്ലനാർ. നോക്കിയേ, 4 വാലൻസി ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഈ ഇതിന് സ്ക്വയർ പ്ലനാർ ഉണ്ട്. ഇനി ഒരു സ്പേഷ്യൽ അറേഞ്ച്മെന്റും കൂടെ ഉണ്ട്. 4 ആണെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ജോമെട്രിയും കൂടെ ഉണ്ട്. 4-ന് 2 ജോമെട്രിയാണ്. 4 കോർഡിനേഷൻ ഉണ്ട്. 4 സെക്കൻഡറി വാലൻസി വരുന്ന കോമ്പൗണ്ടിന് there can have 2 different shapes depending upon the geometry. അത് they will design. Okay, for example in nickel carbonyl, ഈ നിക്കൽ കാർബണൈൽ കോമ്പൗണ്ടില് it is having a tetrahedral shape. Okay, ഇത് 4 ആണ്, ഇത് 4 ആണ്. പക്ഷേ പ്ലാറ്റിനത്തിന് it has got a square planar. അതേസമയം നിക്കലിന് tetrahedral 1 2 3 4. Okay, so 4 എന്ന് പറയുന്ന കോർഡിനേഷൻ നമ്പറിന് it can have both square planar as well as tetrahedral geometry. നമ്മൾ പഠിക്കും ഏതിനാണ് tetrahedral വരുന്നത്, ഏതിനാണ് square planar വരുന്നത്. There are different geometries. Okay, so depending on the secondary valencies which are linked to the central atom, they can have different spatial arrangement, putting it into a different different type of geometries. For example, if the secondary valency is 6, then the geometry must be octahedral. If it is 4, it can have two types. For example, in the case of platinum chloride complex, it is having a square geometry, square planar, and in nickel carbonyl complex, it is having a tetrahedral shape. Depending on the secondary valency, geometry ki maatam varam. Okay. This is about the introduction of this coordination compound. This is the introduction. But now you have got into that point that what is secondary valency, what is primary valency, how the secondary valencies are linked in different spatial arrangements, leading to different geometries for different compounds. Allegedly, compound clearly, Werner എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇത് കൊണ്ടുവന്നത്? അദ്ദേഹം കുറേ കോർഡിനേഷൻ കോമ്പൗണ്ട്സ് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ട് അതിൽ AgNO3യുമായിട്ട് എന്ത് ചെയ്തു, റിയാക്ട് ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ എത്ര Ag മോളിക്യൂൾസ് പ്രസിപ്പിറ്റേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നോ അദ്ദേഹം കണ്ടുപിടിച്ചു അത്രയും അയണൈസബിൾ അയോൺസ് പുറത്തു വരും ഇൻ ദാറ്റ് കോമ്പൗണ്ട്. അങ്ങനെ അദ്ദേഹം സെക്കൻഡറി വാലൻസിയും കണ്ടുപിടിച്ചു. ഓക്കെ, സോ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഓൾ അബൌട്ട് ദ ഇൻട്രൊഡക്ഷൻ ഓഫ് ദിസ്. ഓക്കെ, നൗ we will see the difference between a double salt and a complex. Now mainly in Viva question they will ask you what is the difference between a complex and a double salt. You know, for example, if a double salt is given, for example more salt is a double salt of FeSO4 dot Al2SO4 thrice dot 6H2O. This is a chemical formula for more salt. And a complex is K4FeCN 6 times. This is a complex. So what is the main difference between this more salt as well as this complex? Okay, so in more salt what happens is the ions will get dissociated. That is the main difference between the complex. Whereas in complex, when it is dissolved in a suitable solvent, it does not dissociate into ions. Okay, so that is the difference. A double salt will dissociate into its ions, whereas the complex does not get dissociated into its ions. For example, this will get dissociated as a Fe2 plus or SO4 2 minus or Al3 plus 2Al3 plus and 2SO4 2 minus. So 3SO4 2 minus. So like that it will dissociate in units. Okay. So that is the main difference between a complex ion as well as a double salt. Okay. Now next we will have this coordination chemistry. But before going into the coordination chemistry, you have to know some of the terminologies in the coordination chemistry. Okay, there are some important terminologies which you have to go across through the coordination chemistry. Okay, now the first is what is coordination entity. Now, if you see an example, for example, K4FeCN6 4 times, this is a complex. Okay, so this is a complex. Now, what do you mean by coordination entity? What do you mean by coordination entity? Coordination entity. Now, coordination entity means, see, FeCN6 times is called as the coordination entity, which means there is a central metal atom which is bounded by some molecules or ions. So that together, within the square bracket, that together will give you the coordination entity. Clear? So coordination entity means, what is a coordination entity? It constitutes of a central metal atom. Okay, it constitutes of a central metal atom or an ion bounded in a fixed number of atoms or ions. So this central metal atom is bounded by a fixed number of ions or molecules. So that full thing is called as a coordination entity. Okay, for example, in the case I can say PtCl4 2 minus. So this is the coordination entity. Okay, so NiCO 4 times. So this is a coordination entity where metal is also there and the molecules or the ions which bound to a fixed number of a metal or an ion which is bound to the metal atom is called as the coordination entity. Clear? Okay. Now coming to what is a central metal ion, or how you will define a central metal ion. Okay. Now you can define a central metal ion as in this coordination entity, because metal ion will be always in the coordination entity. So in this coordination entity, the atom or ion to which a fixed number of ions or group of ions are bound in a definite geometrical arrangement is called as a central metal ion. ഈ FeCN6 സെൻട്രൽ മെറ്റൽ സെൻട്രൽ മെറ്റൽ ആറ്റം ഏതാണ്? അയോൺ ആണ്. ആ അയോൺ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആറ്റം, ഈ ആറ്റത്തിനെ ബൗണ്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അല്ലേ ഡയറക്ട്ലി എങ്ങനെയാണ് ബൗണ്ട് ചെയ്തേക്കുന്നത്? എ ഫിക്സ്ഡ് നമ്പർ ഓഫ് മോളിക്യൂൾസ് ഓർ അയോൺസ് ആണ് ഇതിനെ ബൗണ്ട് ചെയ്യും. എന്നിട്ട് എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ഗീവ് എ ഡെഫിനിറ്റ് സ്പേഷ്യൽ അറേഞ്ച്മെന്റ്. നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞു അല്ലേ, there are octahedral structure. If it is 6 numbers, 6 coordination number is 6, it will give an octahedral geometry. If the coordination number is 4, it can have 2 types of geometry like tetrahedral as well as square planar. So this will give a definite geometry to that molecule. So that is called as a central metal atom. Clear? Okay. Now next is important, which is called as ligand. Okay. Now what is this ligand? Ligand ennu parnal endana? Ligand ennu parnal, if I say in this coordination entity, ligand means Cn, the group of molecules or ions which are directly linked to the metal atom. That is called as ligands. In this case, ligand is Cn. Cn actually it is Cn minus. നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞു that is exactly the secondary valency. നമ്മൾ secondary valency നെ പറയുന്നത് secondary linkages നെ പറയുന്നതാണ് ligands എന്ന്. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞു secondary linkages are non ionizable and secondary linkages ഒന്നുകൂടെ പറയുന്നതാണ് they are fixed in number, they are non ionizable, they can be negative ions or neutral molecules. ശരിയല്ലേ? For example water അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ammonia അല്ലെങ്കിൽ Cl, everything they are all ligands. So how will you define a ligand? A ligand can be defined as the ions, it can be ion, or molecules, it can be neutral molecules, isn't it, bound to a central metal. See, the Cn minus is bound, directly bound to a central metal atom, isn't it? Central metal atom in the coordination entity. Apam ligand evideya variga? Ligand is also in the coordination entity. So in short, you can say the metal atom as well as the ligand is in the coordination entity. Clear? So this is about the ligand. Okay. Now coming more to ligand, we can say ligand can be a simple ion. For example, like Cn minus or Cl minus. Isn't it? It can be a simple ion, ligands. Or it can be a simple neutral molecule. For example, ammonia or water. Listen, the ligands must contain a lone pair of electrons, isn't it? It must contain a lone pair of electrons for that bonding. For directly bonding, that bonding is called as linkage. In coordination chemistry, we call that bonding as a linkage. So in order to link to the central metal atom, it should contain what? It should contain a lone pair of electrons, isn't it? So the ligands can be a simple ion, or it can be a neutral molecule, or it can be a larger molecule. For example, what is this molecule? CH2, NH2, CH2, CH2, NH2. What is this? It is called as ethylene diamine, isn't it? Ethylene is CH2, CH2. CH double bond CH2 is ethylene. One double bond is broken and amino group is added, so it will be ethylene diamine. Common name, ethylene diamine, or 1,2-ethan diamine. Okay. So in this coordination chemistry, you don't go to write like this. There is a symbol for ethylene diamine as what? En. So wherever you want to write this ethylene diamine, you can write En. It is well accepted IUPAC nomenclature. Okay, so you can have ethylene diamine or macromolecules. Ligand can be macromolecules like polymers. See, it can have polymers. So it can also, so ligands are maybe simple molecules, larger molecules, or it can be neutral molecules or macromolecules like proteins, etc. Correct. So now we got an idea of what is ligand. In the coordination entity, the ions or molecules, neutral molecules, which bound to the central metal atom or ion in this coordination entity is called as ligands. Clear? Okay. So now you can classify the ligands. There is a classification of ligands. Okay. So ligands can be classified into 3 types. That means monodentate or unidentate ligand. Okay. Unidentate ligand, or bidentate or didentate ligand, or you can say polydentate ligand. See, 3 types of classification. Normally 3 types of classification, that is unidentate, bidentate and polydentate ligand. Clear? Now what do you mean by this mono or uni? Name itself it shows that monodentate ligand means when a ligand is bound to the metal ion through a single donor atom. What is it? Through a single donor atom. Which means what? For example, in Fe, if it is an octahedral complex, 6 bonds are there. If it is Cl, it is a single donor atom. If it is an NH3, it is bounded to a single donor atom is this nitrogen. If it is NH3 again, it is a single donor atom. Cl, it is again a single donor atom, isn't it? So in this case, if the metal atom is bounded by a single donor atom, there must be only one atom to donate that electron pair to make a bond which connects the metal ion, then it is called as a unidentate or a monodentate ligand. Is it clear? Okay. Now next is bidentate. What is bidentate? By the name itself you know that it contains 2 donor atoms, isn't it? In a single molecule, it contains 2 donor sites which can ligate with the central metal ion. For example, see, in this ethylene diamine, that is En, NH2, CH2, CH2, NH2. See, in this single molecule, there are 2 sites. Sites means reaction sites where this can make bond with the central metal atom. There are 2 donor atoms which can donate electrons and bound to the central metal atom. Then it is called as a bidentate or a didentate ligand. Is it clear? Okay. Then another example is oxalate ion. Oxalate ion, which means C2O4 2 minus, that is COO minus and COO minus. Ligands can be ions also. See, there are 2 sites in which this can be bounded to a central metal atom. I can show you an example. Like, see, in this case, if it's a tetrahedral structure, Fe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, didentate ligand is, for example, if I want this to be attached, so I can attach this bond with this NH2, okay. Then comes CH2, CH2 and next NH2. See? So, 2 bonds will make with 1 molecule. Why? Because it is a didentate ligand. There are 2 donor atoms in a single molecule which can linkage directly to a central metal atom. Correct? Now, you coordination you can write En. Okay? En എഴുതിയാൽ മതി ഇങ്ങനെ. ശരിയല്ലേ? അപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് ഇത് വേണമെങ്കിൽ En എഴുതി കൂടെ. 2 ബോണ്ടിനെ ഒരു En മതി. കാരണം Enൽ 2 സൈഡ്സ് ഉണ്ട്. 2 N ഉണ്ട്. അത് വെച്ച് നമുക്ക് അറ്റാച്ച് ചെയ്യാം. ഇതിന് വേണമെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് എന്ത് എഴുതാം? ഓക്സലേറ്റ് എഴുതാം. OX. എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ്? COO ഒരിടത്ത് പോകും, COO ഒരിടത്ത് പോകും. For example, if I show like this, COO minus and COO minus. നോക്കിയേ. Sorry. ഒരേ കോമ്പൗണ്ടില് COO minus and COO minus. നോക്കിയേ, ഇത് ഒരു കോമ്പൗണ്ടിൽ രണ്ട് സൈഡ്സ് ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെ എഴുതാം? in coordination chemistry, this oxalate is represented by OX. Ethylene diamine En എന്ന് represent ചെയ്യുന്ന പോലെ oxalate ion can be represented by OX. Clear? So this is called as a bidentate ligand. Clear? Now, if it is more than two sides, or if there is more than two donor atoms to donate and make linkage with the central metal atom, you can call it as polydentate ligands. So more than two, you call it as polydentate ligands. Clear? Okay. Now example of a polydentate ligand is ethylene diamine tetraacetate. What is that? Ethylene diamine tetraacetate ion, EDTA ion. Have you heard of it? EDTA ion. Ethylene diamine, you know what is it? CH2, CH2, NH2, NH2. Correct? This is ethylene diamine. I have just write it like a box. Last time we have write it like in a straight chain. See, I have write like this: NH2 or En. Correct? This is ethylene diamine. Tetraacetic acid is what? Tetraacetic acid means, see, this nitrogen, two nitrogen atoms are there. Correct? Two nitrogen atoms are there. Now what happens? Tetraacetic acid means this two hydrogen is COO minus, COO minus. That is called acetate ion, COO minus. See? Sorry, acetate, no? So it will be CH3COO. It will be CH3COO, CH3COO and CH3COO. So this is called as ethylene diamine, that is NH2, tetraacetate, 4-acetic acid. അതിന്റെ അയോണിനെ പറയുന്നതാണ്. H+ പോകുമ്പോൾ അതിന്റെ അയോണിനെ you will call it as ethylene diamine tetraacetate ion. ഇതിൽ എത്ര ലിങ്കേജ് ചെയ്യാം നോക്കിയേ. ഇതൊരു മൈനസ് അയോൺ ആണ്. ലിങ്ക് ചെയ്യാം 1 2 3 4 4 പ്ലസ് 5 പ്ലസ് 6. നോക്കി. So what is the density, or how many linkages this ethylene diamine tetraacetate? You can just call it as EDTA. How many linkages is there? 6 linkages. It can link 6 linkages into the central metal ion or atom. So that is called as hexadentate. What is it? Hexadentate. Hexadentate, which means 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So there are 6 positions or 6 linkage where it can directly link to a central metal ion or an atom. So hexadentate ligand is a that is the EDTA ion is a polydentate ligand. Is it clear? Now one more type of ligand is there, which you call it as chelating ligand. What is it? Chelate ligand. Now what is this chelate ligand? Chelate ligand is nothing but, chelate ligand is applicable for 2 or more donor atoms, molecules having 2 or more donor atoms. Okay, if a molecule is having 2 or more donor atoms to donate the electrons, you call that to be as a chelating ligand. Or you can say, if 2 or more donor atoms, or if a didentate or a polydentate ligand uses its 2 or more donor atom in a same compound, എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു കോമ്പൗണ്ട് ഉണ്ട്, അതിൽ ഒരു polydentate ligand ഉണ്ട്. For example, you have a ethylene diamine tetraacetate, EDTA ഉണ്ടെന്ന് വെച്ചോളൂ. ആ EDTA-യിലെ രണ്ടോ അതിൽ അധികം ഉള്ള ആ ലിഗേറ്റിംഗ് സൈറ്റ് സെൻട്രൽ മെറ്റൽ അയോണുമായിട്ട് ബോണ്ട് ചെയ്താൽ, ക്ലിയർ, if 2 or more in a polydentate ligand, if 2 or more linkages happens in the same molecule to bound to a central metal atom or ion, that type of ligands are called as chelate ligands. It's clear? It is called as chelate ligand. So when a di or polydentate ligand, di can be also because there is 2. So when a di or polydentate ligand uses its 2 or more atoms to bind a single metal ion or atom is called as chelate ligand. Actually, this chelate ligand is more stable than a monodentate ligand. കാരണം എന്താ, ഒരു മോളിക്യൂൾ തന്നെ എന്താണ് ഒരുപാട് ഒരു മെറ്റൽ ആറ്റത്തിനെ ബൈൻഡ് ചെയ്യാണ് rather than so many molecules. So the chelate ligands are found to be more stable. Now how many atoms are ligating? The word is ligating. Ligating means bound, making bonds. That is, how many atoms are ligating in this chelate ligand? That is called as density of the ligand. What is it? Density. What is density? Density. What is density? That means how many atoms are donating into that central metal atom. For example, okay, EDTA it's a hexadentate ligand. 6 sites ഉണ്ട് ligate ചെയ്യാൻ ഒരു central metal atom. Correct? അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ if it uses only 3, ബാക്കി 3 എണ്ണം വെറുതെ കിടക്കുക, ചേരുന്നില്ല. സെൻട്രൽ മെറ്റൽ ആറ്റത്തിൽ 3 എണ്ണമേ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നുള്ളൂ, ligate ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, then you can say the density of EDTA in some compound, whatever be the compound, is 3. Clear ആയോ? അതായത് എത്ര ഡോണർ ആറ്റം ആണോ ligate ചെയ്യുന്നത് in a polydentate ligand or in a bidentate ligand, then it is called as a density of, or you can ask a question, what is the density of a compound in which 3 donor atoms is used to ligate in that metal atom? You can say 3 because only 3 is giving, isn't it? Or in ethylene diamine നമുക്ക് 2 sides ഉണ്ട്, NH2 NH2. അതിൽ ഒരു NH2 യെ പാർട്ടിസിപ്പേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുള്ളൂ ബോണ്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ സെൻട്രൽ മെറ്റൽ ആറ്റത്തിലാണെങ്കിൽ its density is 1 because it has got 2 ligating points. Correct? So what is density? The number of atoms, donor atoms that take part in this bonding with the central metal ion is called as the density of that ligand. So what is chelate ligand? You know. Okay. Now that is so unidentate, bidentate, polydentate, and then chelate ligand. Correct. Now one more type of ligand is there, which is called as ampidentate ligand. You have studied ampinucleophile, isn't it? The same way you can have an ampidentate ligand, AMBI. What is it? Ampidentate ligand. This is very important board exam question. Ampidentate ligand. Now, what do you mean by this ampidentate ligand? Ampi means something both, isn't it? Ampident nucleophile, Cn minus, NO2. SCN, the same thing happens here. That means ampidentate ligands means the ligands which can ligate through two different atoms. The ligands which can ligate through 2 different atoms. For example, in the case of NO2, how can a metal, if it is a metal M, it can ligate through N, that is this N double bond O, single bond O. So the metal can ligate with the M and N. Also, it can ligate with the O and O. See, it can ligate with the both N. It can ligate with N, and also it can ligate with the O, because the structure is like that. NO2, in NO2, it can ligate or it can bind with the nitrogen atom as well as it can bind with the oxygen atom. So such a type of ligands are called as ampidentate ligand, which means the ligands which can ligate through 2 different atoms. One is nitrogen atom here, other is oxygen atom. So it is ligating through 2 different atoms. So that type of ligands are called as ampidentate ligands. Is it clear? Okay. Now one more example I can say is SCN. M is ligating through SCN. At the same way, it can be also at NCS. Correct. So this is thiocyanate. This is thiocyanito. Why cyanato we will deal with later. And this is isocyanate. This why this O ending we will study in the next session. That is naming. Okay, so just see that when a ligand is ligating through 2 different atoms in the same molecule, it is called as an ampidentate ligand. Clear? So, unidentate, bidentate, polydentate, chelate ligand and ampidentate ligand. Is it clear? Now coming to the next is coordination number. You know what is coordination number? You have studied in P block. What is coordination number? That means in a coordination entity, okay, in a coordination entity, for example, we will take an example, K4FeCN 6 times. Where is the coordination entity? This is the coordination entity. Now in the coordination entity, how many ligands are directly bonded to the central metal atom? The number of ligands will give you the coordination number. See? The number of ligands which are directly attached to the central metal atom will give you the coordination number. So what is the coordination number of this Fe? Coordination number of Fe? It is 6. Isn't it? Or for example, PtCl4 2 minus. What is the coordination number of Pt in this coordination entity? 4. Isn't it? So what is the number? That is, in a complex ion, it can be defined as the number of ligand donor atoms to which the metal is directly bonded. Simple. How many ligands are there? How many secondary valency is there? That is just the coordination number which is fixed for a metal in that complex. Correct? So that is coordination number. Okay. Now next is coordination sphere. What is coordination sphere? The whole this thing. See, you are writing a full complex like K4FeCN6. See, you are writing a full compound as K4FeCN 6 times. And this is a coordination entity along with this. What is this? This is called as counter ion. What is it? Counter ion. Counter ion is always ionizable. Ionizable primary valency. So, the coordination entity with this counter ion, the whole thing is called as coordination sphere. Clear? Coordination sphere. So, in this, K plus is the counter ion and FeCN6 is the coordination entity. Is it clear? Next is coordination polyhedra. And what is polyhedra? Polyhedra means spatial arrangement of coordination compounds are called as polyhedra. Isn't it? Coordination compound. So, the spatial arrangement. So, how can you define a coordination polyhedra? It can be defined as the spatial arrangement of ligand atoms which are directly attached to central atom defines a coordination polyhedra of the central atom. Definition you can write on your own. The spatial arrangement of the ligands which are bonded to a central metal atom is called as coordination polyhedra. That's it, geometry. Okay. Now there are different type of polyhedra or spatial arrangement. You call it as what? Octahedral, that is 6. See, this is octahedral. Then, if it is, the 6 is octahedral. Now 4, you can have two types. One is square planar and the other is tetrahedral. Isn't it? We have studied in the class. This class. Okay. Now then again if it is 5 then what happens? Then it is a trigonal bipyramidal. Okay. Or if it is a 5 you can have square pyramidal. See, these type of different types of polyhedra or spatial arrangements are there in the coordination chemistry. So this is octahedral 6. 4 is square planar or tetrahedral. 5 is trigonal bipyramidal or square pyramidal. So these are the different types of spatial arrangements you can see. Correct? Now then, next is the oxidation number of the central atom. See, while you are writing a coordination compound or a complex, that central metal atom has got a definite oxidation number. For example, K4FeCN6. Okay. So this ion has got a oxidation number which you will written in Roman letters. If it is 2, it is 2. If it is 3, you represent it by in the formula you represent it by Roman letters and you put the bracket. And you know how to find out the oxidation number, isn't it? How to find out the oxidation number. For example, in this case, FeCN, for example, FeCN 6 times 3 minus. എങ്ങനെയാണ് പിടിക്കുക? എക്സ്, ഇത് എക്സ് അല്ലേ? എക്സ് ഇൻറ്റു സി എൻ ഈസ് -1, എക്സ് ഇൻറ്റു 6 ഇൻറ്റു -1 ഈസ് ഈക്വൽ ടു -3. So x minus 6 is equal to -3, or x is equal to -3 plus 6, that is equal to 3. So the oxidation number of iron is 3. So that is how you calculate the oxidation number. Correct. So if it is -3, then you can calculate like this. Or if it is -4, then like that, whatever be that. If it is a neutral molecule, then you equate as 0. Because in redox reaction last year, 11th standard redox, we have studied all this, how to find out the oxidation number. Okay, so that is how. And in coordination chemistry, the oxidation number is always put in brackets with Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Okay, and the last terminology is called homoleptic and heteroleptic complexes. In complexes also you can have two types. What is homo? Homo means same. Now what is that same thing? If the ligands are same in a complex, for suppose if there are 6 ligands, and if all the 6 ligands are same, you call it as a homoleptic ligands. Complex. Or if there is 6, 4 and 2, 4 is one ligand and 2 is another ligand, then it is called as a heteroleptic complex. I will give an example. So I hope oxidation is okay, right? So in a homoleptic, for example, if you have FeCN6 cations, see, FeCN6 cations, that is Fe, the whole, everything is same, Cn, 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 see. So this is called as a homoleptic complex. Okay. Now if in this case 2Cn is removed and NH3 is there. If 2Cn is removed and NH3 is there, then we will have FeNH3Cn 4 times. See? So two different types of ligands are there. Then you can say it as a heteroleptic ligand. So these are the terminologies we have to study. Once again I will tell you. First we studied about the coordination entity in square bracket, central metal atom in the square bracket, or in the coordination entity the ligands are bonded to the central metal atom to give a definite spatial geometry. Third is ligands. Ligands are the neutral molecules or ions which are directly bound to a central metal atom or an ion, is called as ligands. Ligands are classified into unidentate, didentate, polydentate, chelate and ambidentate ligands. Clear? Then comes the coordination number. Coordination number is nothing but the number of ligands or the secondary valencies. Okay. Then comes the coordination sphere. The whole thing, the coordination entity with the counter ion. With the counter ion is called as the coordination sphere. Then coordination polyhedra. Different type of spatial arrangements are there. The most common is octahedral. The coordination number is 6. Then tetrahedral, coordination number is 4. Square planar, the coordination number is again 4. If the coordination number is 5, you can have trigonal bipyramidal and square pyramidal. Okay. Then comes the oxidation number of the central metal atom. You know how to calculate the oxidation number of the central metal atom. And the last is homoleptic and heteroleptic complexes. Homoleptic means if the ligands are same in the complex or the coordination unity, it is called as homoleptic. If the ligands are different, then you call it as the heteroleptic ligand. So that's it. Next session we will have the nomenclature, how you name a coordination compound. So till then, thank you.